Thank you, Kathy. When Kathy said that the UU has been supportive of us, she was basically being very shy about that. This Planned Parenthood in Orlando would not be here if it were not for the Alliance Women of the UUs back at the table. And as Kathy said, that she's always had the ability to have choice as part of her life. A lot of the women that started the Planned Parenthood here did not have that choice. And so they particularly were very interested in making sure we had a footprint in this community. So in 1991, a group of them got together and cobbled together some money. 1995, they stood on the sidewalk and started handing out brochures. And at the end of 95, we moved to a little place over on Colonial and started doing pap smears and handing out condoms and talking about education and doing all that good stuff. The first year we saw about 450 women. And in 2011 we had about 25,000 visits. Yeah, we had almost 15,000 unduplicated patients, what they call it. But we've had about 26,000 people come in and out where they're getting services. And you know what? It would not have happened had it not been for this community. It would not have happened if there had not been people to stand up and say, we need to have this here. Where are women going to go? Where are women going to go where they're respected? Where are women going to go where their brains are seen as something to be taken seriously? Where are women going to go when all of a sudden they have an unintended pregnancy, or all of a sudden they have a breast lump, and all of a sudden they can't get into a private doctor because they don't have insurance? And where are teens going to go? They want to go to the health department? They want to go to the health department where the health department really doesn't want to see adolescents because they really don't think they should be having sex. Well, that's good. We'll just say don't have sex. That's worked real well. And I think what's happened is that we were talking the other day about why patients come to Planned Parenthood. They come because of those issues. But they also come because we open our doors to anyone walking in. We take anyone, regardless of whether they were born on Pluto. I don't care. I don't care if they have documentation. If they need care, they need to come and get it. And in this economy, or any time in a woman's life or a family's life, having an unattended pregnancy is really, really life-altering. And every woman who's sitting in this room has been in situations where they wipe the sweat off their brow and say, my God, I made it through another month. That still happens, believe it or not. And so what we do is we try to make sure that all of us people out there that are having unprotected sex, all of the young teens that think that they are bulletproof, and all of the people that come to us have the ability to be treated fairly, be treated kindly, and be treated safely, in a safe environment, in a good environment. So we're here tonight because on Sunday will be the 39th anniversary of Roe v. Wade, which is a long time. And as we say, we tend to think, oh my gosh, this will never go away. Well, we are under attack and have been under attack for the last couple of years, and probably the most coordinated, strategic kind of attack. Because what they're doing is they're going after legislation that chips away at women coming in for services. Many, many states have 24, 48-hour waiting periods. Last year we had a mandatory ultrasound. They're trying to put language in place where women now have to, here in Florida, wait for 24 hours. There's 10 bills in Tallahassee as we speak today that are anti-choice. There's an omnibus bill that wants to ban abortion altogether because they're trying to challenge Roe v. Wade. You probably saw a couple of months ago that Mississippi turned down the personhood amendment. I have a whole new respect for Mississippi. Like, I can't say bad things about it anymore. But the personhood amendment and the personhood effort throughout this country is serious. It is going to keep cropping up. and they spend tons of money. They have unlimited sources. So we're going to be seeing that. We're going to be seeing a heartbeat legislation. We're going to be seeing all kinds of legislation across this country. And if we don't stand up, if you all in this room and all of your friends don't stand up and have your voices heard or speak out against how abominable this is, it's an attack on women and families. It's an attack. It's nothing else but an attack. You tell me what other bills are going through in Tallahassee that are limiting access, that are telling people that those people cannot individually make a decision. Legislators have to make that decision for you, because guess what, as women, we certainly don't have that capacity. I gave a talk a little while ago and I was talking about Margaret Sanger, and the corollary was just phenomenal after I sat down and I said, here's Margaret Sanger in 1915 handing out information about birth control. And she was put in jail. She was put in jail many times. They were attacking her. They were attacking the women that came to her clinic. They were attacking. It was attack, attack, attack. The same thing is happening now. It just isn't done in a physical way. And you all have to be really, really, aware of these things. Because before you know it, we're going to have legislation that's going to be passed that's going to restrict what we can do in the state. There is an amendment on the Constitution this year.
Number 6.
Number 6? I thought you were waving now. Number 6, that basically says there will be no taxpayer funding of abortions. There is no taxpayer funding of abortion. There hasn't been. It doesn't happen. But also, as part of that amendment, it will also roll back the privacy provision in our Florida Constitution, which is actually stronger than the U.S. Constitution. Florida says that, well, we need to be similar to the U.S. Constitution. No. The crafters of the Florida Constitution were very serious about protecting the private rights of their citizens, and that's part of the amendment. So it looks like, gee, no taxpayer funding for abortion. That's cool. Doesn't that make sense? There is no funding for abortion. It just doesn't happen. But again, like I said, everyone is very crafty and they're very strategic, and they want to make sure that women don't have an option. And once the option goes away, we're not going to be able to get it back. So all of you are charged today, and charged throughout this year, to make sure when you talk about what's happening in Tallahassee, that you keep women and women's reproductive rights and women's choice in the forefront of your mind. Because it is going to be a very, very important year for us. And we have a veto-proof majority in Tallahassee with the governor and the legislature. But that doesn't mean that we can't have our voices heard. So any opportunity that you have, you can see your elected representatives in their office. We go in, we call them, we try to get on their schedules. Oftentimes they won't see us. They'll see you. Because you can go in and talk with them about an issue that you care about, and then you can say, oh, by the way, I understand that you're supporting this legislation. I'm a woman. That offends me. I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to do that. It's a simple thing to do. Or call their office and say, hey, listen, I'm offended by this. This isn't what Florida's all about. You guys need to be creating jobs up there. Well, what about that? So, as I say, it just astonishes me that there's no other organization that is targeted as Planned Parenthood is targeted. We are on the front lines. We will continue to be on the front lines. We'll continue to fight these things. But it is clearly an attack on women. You don't see people protesting in front of a hospice. You don't see people protesting in front of DCF, which they probably should. Where's Amanda? But you see them protesting in front of my clinic. They protest in front of my house. They do anything that they can to disrupt us. But guess what? It's not working. But they're emboldened more and more by legislation that they can get passed. So that's why we need to stand up. That's why you need to invoke your right as a citizen, as a voter, to call your elected representative, even if you just have a minute. Pick up the phone, call their office and say, I am just really upset that you're thinking about doing this. To all the women in the state of Florida. Half of the population are women. We got power. We really do. We have power together. We have power in our voices. I don't think we realize that, but I think we need to start thinking about that. And I'm not saying go out and be, like the protesters are, but what I'm saying is, hey, this is something that I don't think is right, and I want to make sure I register my concerns. So I thank you very, very much for coming out tonight. And we have some distinguished people in the audience, so I'd like to recognize them. Linda Stewart, welcome. Nice to see you. Randy Stevens is going to talk next about, he's from the center, Detective Records. And who else am I? Billy Mays? And Joyce Hamilton Henry, who's from the ACLU, who will come up and say a few words. This is a traveling Joyce. I know it's all the same. Welcome, Joyce. Thank you.